Right, well, let's get some answers now about this. We chat now to Rand Water spokesperson Tebogo Joalo. Tebogo, a very good morning to you. Thanks for your time this morning. So it seems you're at the stalemate with the members of Samwu, the union, saying it will go on an indefinite strike next week. What is your next move?
Well, thank you very much, and good morning, Rebecca, and the listeners, and your viewers at home. Look, we have since heard through the media statement of Samwu yesterday that they intend going on indefinite strike on the 13th, from the 13th. Look, this comes at the back of the disagreements that we have had with them, particularly the dispute that they have put against the management after having received a communique which says the bonuses won't be paid out this year, which are call them 14th check. It's a bonus that they get, incentive bonuses that are over and above normal salary, normal 13th check, and many other benefits. One, we have of the view that the bonus itself is not a matter that they can strike for it. I don't think it constitutes, or we don't believe it constitutes part of the basic conditions of service. And then we also believe that we can reach an agreement or settlement or a resolution to this matter through an arbitration. So in our last attempt to meet with the union on Friday last week, Samwu rejected any proposal that involves an arbitration. Where we are now is obviously waiting for Samwu to call us back into a meeting. We had invited them to a Monday meeting, which they had said they will come back to us to agree on the terms of the strike. As you may appreciate that we are part of this essential service provider, and then as such we have a certain minimum service agreement that exists between ourselves and the unions on our shop floor. In that, when the strike does happen, if it does go ahead, there must be a certain minimum in all our operations, workers that will remain and work. So as a consequence, we don't believe and think that there is any opportunity or any chance of our operations being affected, in that we'll be able to supply all our bulk water, potable bulk water, to all our customers without any hindrance or disruption.
So what is your plan then to make sure, if they do go on strike, how do you ensure that there won't be any disruptions to your supply? Because your responsibility is quite big, Tebogo, with in regard to the metros, the municipalities, mines and industry that you actually serve.
Yeah, the plan is specifically that how it actually carries itself out is that we will meet with Samwu. They must identify who of their workers at those essential areas of our work and our operations would be going on strike. So in essence, it protects and ensures that the continuous service, or that's the minimum service agreement that I was referring to, won't impact on the actual operation of our basic rotational and operational work, from extraction point to purification to pumping of water up into the various customers. So you correctly mentioned all our metros and all our other 14 municipalities. So we supply water to about 16 municipalities in 4 provinces. So that process, we don't anticipate it being disrupted. So we will sit and thresh out those details and integrities, and the union will have to submit to us who of their workers or of their members will be on strike.
And what if it is majority of those? What if it is majority of those who get the water flowing and the taps flowing? What do you do then?
We have already warned the union that should there be an overlap in terms of a number of minimum employees that had to be in any of those operations, will immediately interdict the strike. So it is a protected strike. We respect that. It's a democratic right of every worker to, after having exhausted all available means to them, that they can go on strike. But if we have specific service level agreements and the conditions that we have as a essential service provider, Rand Water, you are, as a union, you are, as an employee, owe it through your engagement with the employer that you must respect those parameters and respect those guidelines that exist.
And yet,
so we don't anticipate it to happen. They have made that concession themselves, some in our meeting, that they do respect and understand the minimum service agreement that exists between the parties, and they will respect it. But we also are saying, should there be any proof or any sense from our side that that has been compromised, we will immediately interdict. We have prepared ourselves, and our counsel and our legal department is ready to go to the courthouse at any point of hesitation.
Tebogo, let's just talk about what has made them so cross with you, and have you actually withdrawn that circular that says they won't be paid those bonuses? Because that seems now what has given them the impetus to say that they will go on strike, is that you actually haven't withdrawn that pending your negotiations or your talks.
Look, let me give you just a brief background. When we, the board actually takes a decision on the matter of bonuses. It does say in any of the circulars that we issued in the last many years that this is a discretionary bonus. So it's not like you're saying, it's not a part of anyone's package. It's a salary package or remuneration package. It's a discretionary bonus that gets paid after the board have satisfied itself with a certain minimum performances, numbers, in terms of revenue and so on and so on. So there are a whole host of issues that get considered before bonuses have been paid. Yes, the union is correct. There's been paid consistently without fail for the past 17 years. Some have even saying longer, but at least the last 17 years has not gone past without these bonuses being paid.
So what has happened this year that you're unable to pay?
The board would have reflected itself. I mean, part of the things that you would have noticed is that the 2020, which is the current financial year, all the water boards were refused a tariff increase, which in a sense, from a water point of view, opened a hole of 1.1 billion in our books in terms of revenue that we could have gotten, because it asked for a 5.8% increase, which we didn't get, so we got 0%. Of course, the financial year that you're referring to is the 2019-2020 financial year, which ended in June 2020. You can't also, when you consider paying bonuses, be oblivious and ignorant of the subsequent year's financial year and the impact it will have on the sustainability of the business on the short-term and medium term basis. So the board reflected on that. Of course, the union would only want to focus on that financial year. We are dealing with the pandemic. We are dealing also with the growing debt book which is affected by municipalities that are battling to pay, and a number of these municipalities who are not paying, they were at least battling to pay. They're not even keeping up with the current accounts. Are also decrying the fact that the economy is being obliterated to a very large extent. Number of people are not working. The revenues from the collection is decreasing at an alarming rate. So there is a wider problem, and like we're saying, when the board reflected, it also considered those. So it didn't only consider the financial year at hand, which is the 2020 financial year that our workers are complaining about. And we must also state that this also affects management. So it's not like there is a part of the business where the incentives were paid. So all employees would have been paid, all their remuneration, as I mentioned, including the 13th check for the bargaining unit of the organization. So this affects everyone. It affects us, affects every person in the organization.
All right, Tebogo,
so
thanks.
The board would have really made an effort, but we are saying we can perhaps go further and arbitrate this matter.
All right.
Further discuss and see if there are no other alternatives that may exist. There are no other ways in which you can find a common ground on the matter.
Tebogo, we will
so
have
the door from our side has not been closed.
Right.
Hence saying
you have more than a week to do that at the moment, so we will check in with you in a couple of days. Rand Water spokesperson Tebogo Joalo there on Samwu members threatening to go on strike next week over that incentive bonus issue.